This is where Frontend as a service can heavily decrease the cost of releasing additional brands. So once you release your MVP and you have brand number one available in the US, to launch it in Europe, it's super fast.
What is front-end as a service? How is it different from outsourcing front-end development?
So front-end as a service, in short words, it's basically a new way of building front-end that is focused on either management of the front-end itself, either building of it, either connecting of different third-party tools into it. So it's basically the same difference as with when we are building software on our own and then we're having a SaaS software that is simplifying a lot of workflows, simplifying a lot of things. So it's the same thing with front-end as a service. Front-end as a service is simplifying for us infrastructure, editing content, managing integrations, and this sort of stuff.
Yes, and of course, we are continuously defining the definition itself. But if we think of alternatives, it's accelerators built by SIs, uh, building a custom from scratch, and that requires also building all the other integrations from scratch. And then you have solutions that are coming straight from vendors. So SAP used to have Spartacus, now it's called Composable Storefront. Salesforce has PWA Kit, Magento has PWA Studio, and so on and so on. So I would say that those are the three options that you have out there when you are looking for alternatives.
Is front-end as a service a right approach for everyone?
Well, composable in general show best ROI when it is applied at a large scale. So I would say it is definitely most compelling for the large scale, though frontend as a service itself, because of its simplification of many things and abstractions and acceleration, it is actually decreasing the cost of adopting composable architecture.
Yeah, so we are really trying to make things easier. And again, it's a combination of build and buy. So we are making sure that with the right frontend as a service, customers don't have to reinvent the wheel, and they have enough building blocks and all the tools they need to customize further based on what they're gonna get out of the box.
What are the main financial benefits of front-end as a service for e-commerce?
Well, I think the biggest one is like with any kind of SaaS software versus build software, like you're not spending time and money on reinventing the wheel on things that really don't provide any unique value to your business. Uh, Another benefit is that you really don't have to dedicate your precious time and precious resources on keeping all the integrations up to date and making sure that all the third-party software that you're using is up to date and maintaining this. Definitely not having to worry about infrastructure and scalability of it is another huge benefit, because this is also the part that is usually the hardest to get right. Uh, Apart from this, as we were saying before, I think ability to fine tune the experience of your users and your internal workflows to really be specifically tailored to your needs. It is also a huge advantage of frontend as a service that is coming at a very reduced cost compared to building something completely customly.
Yeah, and maybe something to add when we think of some of the use cases where you have a very large group and you have many brands within the group, and those brands are also operating on different markets. So you have multi-brand and you have multi-geo. This is where frontend as a service can heavily decrease the cost of releasing additional brands. So once you release your MVP and you have brand number one available in the US, to launch it in Europe, it's super fast. Then you take the whole design system and all the components you've built, and you can do it for brand number two and three. And the more components you have, the further the brand, the easier it will be to deploy and do the go to market, go live with this.
Yeah, and that would be even an advantage of like front-end as a service platforms where you also have everything coupled with each other, because then you can optimize this even further, not only take what you've developed before and copy this, but actually figure out how to have the most possible optimized setup when you, for example, have a single code base that has some configuration layer that is allowing you to deploy to all of those geographies, to all of those brands, without really copying the stuff and having to maintain this. So it is really saving costs and giving something that a lot of enterprise companies these days care about a lot. It is giving you agility.
Yes.